Hi there, welcome back, my beautiful beings. How are you today? How are you feeling? So in this beautiful video, I wanted to share something that happened earlier this week and what came through for me, one of my experiences. So I shared in a previous video that over the weekend, last weekend, my husband said something about, oh, you just hate your life, don't you? And for some reason that stuck in my head. You know, that this is how I am coming across to my husband. You know, this is how he sees me all the time, that this is all I do. I hate my life, you know. I started questioning that because I thought, well, if this is what he's saying to me, it's because this is what I am most of the time, right? I hate my life. Really? And I really sat with that, you know, that day when he said that. And I thought, well, he doesn't understand my frustration, what I've been through in the last few months, what I've been working through, I guess, or playing with. I like the word playing with more than. Work has a heaviness to it and play doesn't. So what I've been playing with in the last few months, is that this frustration that I have is because I have an idea of what success looks like for me. And that idea was robbing me of my joy, of my being present now. And in that moment that he said that, I realized it wasn't hate, it's frustration. Okay, it's a different word, but he's right. As always, whatever he brings forward, when I sit with it and I get to the end of it, I realize, there was gold there for me. Always. Maybe yes, because the word hate for me is such a strong word. I sat with hate. Why would he choose that word? It's such a strong word. But it was like a slap in the face. When you get that slap in the face and it just jolts your system? That's what the word hate was all about. So first there was that over the weekend, and that kind of sat in my system, and I had to really sit with it, this is how he sees me, that I'm always unhappy, that I'm always, I hate my life. And he's part of my life, so how would that make him feel, And so is my daughter. What's that say about them, if this is how he's seeing me? And so there was that I thought, oh, wow, does he feel that, how does, anyway, I sat with all of that. And then a few days later, I'm singing this song that's got stuck in my head. I have all these songs from that K-pop Demon Hunters. It's like when the Frozen movie came out, and I couldn't stop singing those songs. But at the time, my daughter was a toddler. She was like a year old. And so I could sing the songs because she couldn't tell me, Mom, stop singing. It's annoying me. Plus, she used to love the songs, But she doesn't like this movie, and she doesn't like the songs. And apparently in her high school, which I didn't know, all the girls are crazy about the songs. They're all singing them all the time. So she's being exposed to them all the time. She's in a different space to me. I don't get to hear them at all, And so I'm listening to these songs because they're resonating, just like the Let It Go song resonated when it first came out, and Into the Unknown. When those two songs came out, my mind was completely blown, But the songs, the words to these beautiful songs in this movie resonate on such a deep level for me, And anyway, I was singing this song and it was making me so happy, and I'm dancing around in the kitchen. And she comes out to tell me, Mum, can you just stop? That song is so annoying, I can't, And in that moment that she said that, I kind of felt like, when am I going to be able to just be me and not have to be told all the time to be this or to be that? As a little one, you had to be the good girl. You had to be the good child. You had to behave. There was all these rules of how you had to be for your parents to be happy with you, to accept you, to show you a scrap of love, For so many of us, we're told from the get-go, from the moment we utter our first word, this is what you have to be for us to accept you. This is what we expect of you. And so we mold ourselves from these rules, from these expectations. And I've spent so much of my life not being, not saying, you know, what I want to be, who I want to be, what I want to say, because of how it's going to affect others. Because of those rules that I was taught of what it is to be a good girl turns into what it is to be a good person as you grow up. And so there's certain things you just don't say. You don't say them out loud anyway, even if you're feeling them. And so when she said that, it just felt like a knife had been stabbed into my heart of when am I going to be able to just be? That if I'm happy, I can sing at the top of my lungs. I don't care if it's off key. I really don't care. I just love singing. Same with my dancing. I've got no moves, but I love dancing. I love moving my body to music. Always have, from very little. I would hear music and I just couldn't stop. I would just move. I didn't care how it looked. From really little. And I just want that back. That feeling before people around you tell you who you are supposed to be. You know? And anyway, so I went really quiet in that moment, thinking all those things. When is it my time to just be me? That I can just be me without other people telling me around me that it bothers them, they don't like it, that whatever, you know, that it's affecting them, you know? And anyway, I went really quiet. I'm going through all of that in my head. And we get in the car because I was taking my daughter to school. And she kept asking me what was wrong because I was so quiet. I'm usually not quiet, you know. And as I'm halfway there and I just couldn't, you know, I just started crying because I was like, I'm so done, you know, pretending to be all the time something that you're not, or thinking of what's the right words to say, you know, to people to keep them happy. All of that I grew up with, you know, I was done, you know, I'm done. I'm done being that way. And I love this version of me. I love me this way. You know, that if I want to sing, I'll sing. And if I want to dance, I dance. And to say what I'm thinking without a filter, you know, without having to sift through how this is going to affect anyone else. And I started crying. And as I started crying, she started crying. And she started apologizing. And I said to her, it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, so she went off to school. I dropped her off. She went off. She was in tears. I was in tears. And I allowed the tears. You know, I just allowed them because they were there for a reason. You know, and I'm not judging those tears anymore. If they're there, they're there. And perhaps that's the release I needed to let that all go, that I don't need to be that way anymore. You know? And it's not about being mean, that you just say the first thing that comes to mind and you just, you know, out to hurt other people. It's not like that either. It's about speaking your truth, unfiltered. You know, without having to think, oh, it's going to affect this person or that person, or how are they going to take it? Or, as I've said 100 times before, take what resonates. If what we're talking about here does not resonate, it's not for your path. It is so simple. And it's not just what you hear on this channel. It's everywhere. Everywhere. If you're listening to someone and they're talking about higher dimensions or the fifth dimension or the ninth dimension or whatever it is they're talking about, if it doesn't resonate, keep moving. Move on to the next thing. You know, for me, and many of you are going to gasp right now, I'm not into astrology. It doesn't resonate. Doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it's not for my path. It's not something I feel called to study or to get into or to, I don't feel a need. you know. Same with crystals. I had crystals all over the house, but I just thought they were pretty. Again, many of you out there are going to be like, gasp. You're going to be gasping. Like, who is this person? And yet my daughter came along and asked if she could have them because she resonates with them. And she taught me, she communicates with the beautiful crystals, and she taught me how to interact with them. And so I learned a new way of being with crystals. But I don't spend my whole day around crystals and learning all about them. Yes, I've done a couple of courses, but again, it's not my path. I'm very clear as to what my path is. So, going back to the beautiful story. I've got headphones in, by the way, if you've seen them in a few of the videos, because I do the videos from 2 different spaces now. And when I'm not in the space that I, record from in my house, in this space, there are a lot of noises that are actually quite loud that come in unexpectedly, and then it makes it hard to get them out of the recordings. These are supposed to be noise cancelling, so we'll see how we go. Noise cancelling, because last time I used them, but I had a heater running close to, because it was so cold in here. And there was still this hum in the background. So I was like, okay, we're doing the best we can. So getting back to this gorgeous video of just being yourself, Now, I allowed those tears, and I really sat with it that morning, even though I was at work, and that was hard because every time I had to be with the person, I had to try and, save face that I'm okay. And then when I wasn't with them, go and release the tears that were coming up. So what was coming up for me in that moment that was quite profound that I wanted to share for anyone else who needs this today. It wasn't about my mother liking me or not. It wasn't about how my husband sees me. It's not about how my daughter sees me, whether she likes what I do or not. Now, this was the moment I had, and this was just Monday. We are constantly evolving when we're in this beautiful space. It's not about how others, no matter how close you are to these beings, it's not about how they see you. It's not about whether they like you or not, or even love you or not. The realization I had was that I like me, that I love me. And that was it for me. The moment I stepped into that, after all the crying, I stopped for a moment and I thought, wait a minute. This is what it's pointing to. That's what the information was pointing to. These beautiful beings were pointing me to me. And when you reach that space, but hang on a minute, I like me. I like me. I like who I am. I like that I can break out into song, and I don't care where I am. Sometimes I'll be in the middle of the shops. My daughter will walk away because she gets embarrassed. But I'll hear a song and I'll start to break out and sing. I don't care if it's in tune or not. And if it's a good song, on a good day, I'll start to dance with it. I just allow myself to be. And funny enough, when you step into that space, you'll see others and they'll start smiling, or they'll start dancing, or they'll start singing with you, because you've just opened up that space. That it's okay. It's okay. If it makes you feel good, do it. It's okay. Let's do it together even. But that is the question for you today. Do you like you? So let's close our eyes. Let's see what comes through as we sit with this today. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in now. And as you exhale, let go of everything. Relax the body. Let it all go. Ask yourself, do I like myself? Do I like who I am? And then ask yourself, do I love who I am? And in the moment that you ask this question, do I love who I am? See your beautiful heart all lit up with the love that you are. It is dancing, it is celebrating that you are love, infinite, boundless, vast. Feel the light that is within you. Feel that energy now. The energy that you are. Feel into that. You are love. You are unconditional love. No conditions. You are the love that created the stars. You are the love that created the sun and the moon and the galaxies. You are the love that created this incredible planet for you to come and explore yourself. You are that love. Do I love who I am? Heck yeah. I love all of it. All right, my beautiful beings, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we'll talk more about this in the next video, because I'm sure there's a lot coming up right now. I can hear it in my ears. All this information. We love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we're going to continue on in the next video. Bye for now.